Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and it's a weekly reading for the week of August 5th to the 11th. Your cards this week: Libra, energies leaving, completing, or transitioning. You have the Five of Swords. Focus energies this week, you have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords, and we have the Six of Wands coming in towards the end of the week. So Libra, I'm calling this reading the Art of Completion. That's really what I see here as a theme of being very masterful in how you're bringing a situation to closure this week. Now, we don't have any major arcana here, but I feel that this is a continuation of a situation. Potentially, some of you may even have had a Tower moment in the recent past. I feel like the majority of the structure coming down, the situation kind of erupting, and maybe the initial healing has already started, but potentially that happened while you were still in the situation. You can, for example, if it's a relationship, you can sort of be going through the grieving process. You can go through that, in a revelation of a Tower moment, and you can begin to heal before you actually bring it to closure. I think a lot of people actually follow that pattern. So I see what we have this week is not major arcana, meaning, that's not going to, your world isn't going to shake this week. However, we really see you strongly bringing the situation to a completion in a very masterful way. So let's have a look at your recent past here. So this is probably, recent past more than the last week, but perhaps unfolding over the last few months. So yeah, here we have a situation that is clearly stressful and unfulfilling for you. So under that Five of Swords energy, it's a situation where there has been a certain amount of stress, strife, conflict, tension, that kind of thing. And it could be even have been an energy of, under the Five of Swords, of that kind of one-upmanship energy. If you were in a relationship with someone that hadn't been going well, if arguments, it gets to that point where arguments sort of erupt all the time because, you sort of, everything about that person kind of irritates you, or, you're sort of over it and you're just very, very easily triggered. But there can be that sense of always having to have the last say, always coming out on top, because you both, both of you could have been doing this, both feeling like you're right. It is a card of victory, but not in a positive sense. It's asking you, what is the cost of doing that? What is the cost of always being right, of keeping the situation going? So it's like, you have an argument, you make up, you keep the relationship, or it could also be in the workplace, the situation, you keep it going for a little bit longer, and then you end up back here again, and it's kind of like a cycle. It's a cycle that's caused you definitely a lot of anxiety. You might even be depressed about the situation, guys. It's that kind of situation where, you jump into bed at night and just as you're falling asleep, and you have that little bit of, space and time after the end of a busy day where all the thoughts come up, and, you think about it, you overanalyze it, and, it really sort of almost keeps you awake at night. Some of you may even be experiencing insomnia at the moment and just not feeling well rested. And if that's been going on for a period of time, it can lead to fatigue, even adrenal fatigue, burnout, that kind of thing. So, that's why it's important to allow these situations to complete, because we don't want to get stuck in a cycle of this kind of behavior. We can see here with the Ace of Cups in reverse, this situation has been unfulfilling for you. What happens with a cup of liquid, if you turn it upside down, it drains empty. I literally feel like some of you have felt like you've been drained from the situation, literally drained of love, of joy, of happiness, and there's definitely no pleasure in that for you. And maybe that's the only pleasure that you've been deriving, is that when an argument comes up, or you try and get the upper hand over this personal situation, but obviously that's not productive and it's not sustainable in the long term. So I'm really pleased to see the energies this week of a very masterful completion, Libra. You have some really great cards here. You've got excuse me, we have double Queen energy here, which is, Queen energy is very grounded and mature. Queens they know exactly what they want and they take the steps to make that happen. Just before we talk about the different qualities of these queens here, I just wanted to show you that when I drew the Queen of Cups, that the 10 of Swords did come out with it. So here we are moving from the 9 of Swords to the 10 of Swords. So we are definitely bringing the situation to a completion this week. It's kind of at that point, well, you know what, I just can't take it anymore. I've already grieved for it. I've already felt the pain and the loss. I've already been through the hurt. I think that some of you are now in the healing stage. And now that you are in that stage, you have the strength and the courage to bring this to completion. So I'm just going to pop that down for a sec so we can see the Queen. So here, Libra, you know, we have the Queen of Cups and we have the Queen of Swords. So this is where that art of completion comes in, because you have got the skills and abilities of two very, very strong women, that's not gender specific, on your side this week. So the Queen of Cups is somebody who can shelve their emotions while they're, you know, getting things done. They can be unshakable, because you can see this Queen here, she carries her emotions in this beautiful gilded cup, and it's up to her when she lets them out. It's up to her when she expresses them, when she allows them to be let out. You know, she has emotional self-mastery. She's emotionally intelligent. Doesn't mean she doesn't feel emotions. You know, she sits on the shoreline and she has one foot in the emotional waters, but she's able to stay solid and stable and grounded, and ain't no cliffs coming down around her. So I feel like if you are to bring the situation to completion, as in it might require a difficult conversation, a heartfelt conversation, that kind of thing, you're going to be able to have that without melting down, without, you know, tears, without anger, without, you know, getting emotionally hijacked as you're doing that. So that's really beautiful energy there. And to complement that, Libra, we have the Queen of Swords here, undoubtedly you. And, you know, the Queen of Swords is somebody who is visionary, who can see clearly, can use logic. You know, it's really like you've actually got access to emotional tools plus your logic this week. You know, the Queen of Swords is somebody who could approach that difficult conversation by presenting facts without emotion, right? You know, sometimes when we present the facts to somebody to say, well, hey, the situation, you know, it is making me feel like this. It has become unproductive, and here's why. Just stating pure facts without all the emotion and the you did this to me and da da da. It actually, like, you'll be surprised how easily it can complete from that really mature standing place. So you have access to the emotional tools and the logical tools here. It's a perfect combination to bring this to completion in an artful and masterful way. And here in the Queen of Swords, you see this person, undoubtedly you, Libra, holding a sword of victory. No longer holding a sword to continue the battle, but holding it now in almost like an offering of peace, an offering of victory. She has a very peaceful stance about her. She's not going to use that sword in the wrong way. It's a sword of power rather than a sword of battle. That's what we have here. And you'll be surprised that, you know, by tapping into these two Queen energies, you know, you and your opponent will both put down your swords. There'll be no point to fight it any longer. Towards the end of the week, Libra, look at this. Another card of victory, the Six of Wands here. So we have two victory cards bookending your reading, but we have a victory that's brought about through, almost negative means here, through force, through fighting, through coercion, that sort of thing. But here we have somebody who's victorious in a very calm and peaceful way. You know, it's like they have created the victory through, you know, using words, skills, wisdom, knowledge, not fighting. And we're going from a 5 to a 6, you know, so we're going from that conflict and change energy into a state of harmony. And also 6 talks about growth. So I really think that you're going to get growth out of this situation. It's potentially, you know, a life lesson for you in the situation. I think this life lesson might be about completing things in a timely fashion and doing so in the right way, in the right way when the time is right. And here we see you, Libra, on your horse of victory, riding into a new chapter. And with that Six of Wands, it comes with public recognition. There could be friends or family, colleagues, around you that say, you dealt with that beautifully, or you've really changed, you've switched up your energy, you've obviously done the right thing, it was the right thing for you, look at you, go you. I think it will be recognized by others. So there you go, Libra, that's what I have for you this week. The art of completion. The energy is there to bring a situation to a solid finish in a really peaceful and beautiful way, so good luck with that. Keep in mind this is a general reading, won't necessarily resonate with every Libra out there, but I'll be back with you for another reading next week.